Now let's talk about aminoglycosides. The aminoglycosides are not absorbed orally and must be given by injection. They are bactericidal and are active against many gram-negative and some gram-positive organisms. The aminoglycosides have a narrow therapeutic index and are all potentially toxic. They are excreted by the kidney, and renal impairment results in accumulation and a greater risk of toxic side effects. The most important side effects of the aminoglycosides are damage to the 8th cranial nerve, ototoxicity, and damage to the kidneys. These effects are dose-related, and assays of blood aminoglycoside levels should be carried out regularly on all patients receiving aminoglycosides. Resistance to aminoglycosides arises from several mechanisms, the most important being the production of enzymes that inactivate the drug by acetylation, phosphorylation, or adenylation. Other mechanisms are the alterations of the envelope to prevent drug access and alteration of the binding site on the 30S subunit so that the drug does not bind. Gentamicin is the most important aminoglycoside, its main use being in the empirical treatment of acute, life-threatening gram-negative infections, for example, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, in hospitals until antibiotic sensitivities are known. Gentamicin may have a synergistic antimicrobial action with penicillin and vancomycin, and combinations with one of these agents are used in the treatment of streptococcal endocarditis. Amikacin is less affected by aminoglycoside inactivating enzymes and is used in serious gram-negative infections that are gentamicin resistant. Natilmicin is claimed to be less toxic than gentamicin. Neomycin is too toxic for parenteral use. It is used topically in skin infections and orally to sterilize the bowel prior to surgery. Streptomycin is active against Mycobacterium tuberculosis. However, because it causes dose-related ototoxicity, especially with prolonged or intensive therapy, it has been largely replaced by rifampicin. Resistance rapidly develops to rifampicin alone, and in the treatment of tuberculosis, it is combined with isoniazid, ethambutol, and pyrazinamide for the first 2 months of treatment. Treatment is then continued for another 4 months, usually with rifampicin and isoniazid. Ethambutol, isoniazid, and pyrazinamide are active only against Mycobacterium tuberculosis, but their mechanisms of action are unknown.